Bringing us to our second talking point, where we'll be looking at insecurity, the impact, consequences of declaring bandits as terrorists. Actually, this happened 25th of November 2021, and on the 29th of November, it was gazetted by the Federal Ministry of Justice. And in January, by this year, January 5, it was made available to Nigerians that the much awaited gazette of the proscription of bandits terrorists was actually done on 29th of November 2021. So we're going to be looking at to what extent will this, reduce the rage by now bandit terrorists in the northwest and other parts of the country. And to do this, the Director, Strategy and Programs, Coalition for Northern Group CNG, Comrade Samaila Musa, is here. Very good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how was the weekend? Yeah. So we all saw that when Dr. Gwandu made it available to Nigerians, that while the agitation to have, the prescription gazetted, it was actually done 4 days after and made available. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's the right step in the right direction. Over the time, there's so many people have made cases, made cases for the bandits to give excuses as to why they're actually going into banditry. There's so many theories out there that says, oh, okay, some of them actually have genuine, reasons why they went into that. Some of them got their cattle rustled, and the government neglected them, and there was no palliative. There's no any form of succor to, try to alleviate the pains, provide them an alternative. And because of that, some of them had to join, the bandwagon of what's raining. So they also pick up arms, because of course, what do you expect? The quest for survival, can actually drive a man to do all sort of nasty things sometimes. But having said that, the killings was becoming or were senseless, senseless killings that you can't just place your hand on the reason for that. There was no any basis for some of these killings, because you went into a village and your motive is to wipe out the entire village. If you have a grouse with some people, one will expect that common sense will prevail to say, okay, we have a target. It's just like when you give money to hired assassins to go after someone. They have a target and they go straight to that. But when you just go around just maiming, not sparing little children, not sparing women, you're just out for destruction and you're enjoying it. It really calls for a serious concern, and in the quest for that, I know so many people say, oh, it's high time you declare these people as terrorists, even though Sheikh Gumi came up over time to say, no, that's not the solution, But you see, people who belongs to that class of thoughts feel, well, what you're doing is you're just trying to change the nomenclature. The problem is still what it is. You're not addressing the problem, So mere pronunciations or mere pronouncements doesn't really change anything in the long run, other than how do you solve this problem, But of course, there's another, class that believe that, look, you don't treat people who are killing senselessly with kid gloves. Wipe them out. You understand? And we have also advocated severally to say, look, there's no any serious government that goes to a negotiation table on their knees. It doesn't work like that. Government needs to stand tall on the negotiation table and be firm about, whatever it is that they are resolving to do, that look, we're not coming here to beg you. We just want to put an end to this. But, we just want to give you this opportunity, you understand, because we want peace. But if you're not towing in that direction, we can actually take action. But you see, it really, all those issues further expose our security architecture. There's this, there's this perception that Nigerian military is actually one of the best in the world. That perception, all these issues really expose our military to know that it's just on paper, not in actual sense, But having said all this, just to lay background, studying what has been going on over time, because if what you're doing is not driven by any ideology, you're not giving people room to actually make case for you to say, well, the government should sit down with you. There's no any cogent reason other than financial. You understand? It started with the issue of gold mining, quest to take over mining sites and all of that. So declaring it or declaring them as terrorists is actually the way to go. But it doesn't end there. If the government will also go in the same with the same approach of what they've been doing in the past, it will not make any sense other than just changing the nomenclature. What it will simply means is that you have just labeled some people as terrorists, but
they are still there.
They are still there.
Okay, but as it stands now, how can the military, fish out these guys? The ones proscribed. Enter Ada and Mbindiga. It appears they're the ones known. And of course, the other also say, and others, which means anyone, any group in that kind of act is a terrorist. Yes. So, but the thing is, because they are faceless, how do you begin to fish them out?
No, I don't believe they are faceless. There's no time the government tried to reach out to them that they don't have means of reaching out to them. They are not faceless. Even Boko Haram there was no time Boko Haram was faceless. You understand? These are people whose leadership are known. We've seen where in Zamfara State, especially when this present governor came on board, how he started holding meetings with them. So how can you be holding meetings with people and you say they are faceless? They are not. You understand? So if you are holding a meeting with the leadership of a particular organization and you're saying they are faceless, what do you expect? You want the whole group to come together for a meeting? No, it doesn't work like that anywhere. People you need is the leadership. So the people you're having a physical interface with, you still say they are faceless. They are not faceless. You are the one who is assuming or who is trying to sell that dummy that they are faceless. But they are not faceless. If even media people, each time they want some kind of interview with them, they have a means of reaching them. Recently, a musician released a song for Turji. He even put his phone number there. That's the musician's phone number was actually there. The video was going viral, or the audio was viral everywhere. You understand? Praising Turji, even praising the person who paid for this audio music to be made. So how are they faceless? They're not faceless. You see, what happened is this, right? Is we have a problem. Some persons are making serious money from that problem. You understand? So they see it as, if we're cashing out from this, any attempt to end this means shops will be closed. So really, how do we thrive? Let us act as intermediaries per time. You understand? We're the one to broker.
So what you're saying is that even those that are negotiating with these are also members?
That's what it automatically means. If they are not members, government should capitalize on those kind of people to actually flush out these issues.
So anyone that has anything to do with bandit should be arrested?
The point is this, not everyone. You see, in advanced crimes, there is how you place a tap on virtually everyone. involved in that cycle. I mean, there's a circumference you can actually just target and say, well, people within this radius, we're going to place a tab on them. We want to know what they are doing part-time. What's their business? How are they surviving? You understand? Who are they interacting with? Instead of shutting down the whole telecom system, try to bug their own lines. Get information per time what they're doing, even when they're communicating with their spouses and all of that. You have every up-to-minute information about whatever it is they are doing, so that you begin to, profile them based on these ones are innocent ones. They perhaps have one or two things to do with them in the past, or they were childhood friends or something, or these are the ones who are actually doing it for business. All that can actually be known, because you can just mark out a space of about 6 months to 1 year to get all these informations. You understand? It's doable. So by the time you profile them, you'll be able to know who to go for. You understand?
Yeah, but they are in bushes, thick forest. Do you think the Nigerian military will be ready to enter the bushes and begin to comb them?
That's funny. If we're actually here debating whether they should go into the bushes, the military ab initio is trained not for city arrests. You understand? All their trainings that is being carried out majorly are being trained in the bushes. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing with the Air Force. So maybe you can make excuse for the Navy to say, majorly the water. So if we shouldn't be talking about whether somebody is willing or not. If Nigeria is at war, what do you want to do?
Yeah, but the will is what is needed anywhere.
That is why the onus falls on the desk of the leadership. You understand? You cannot have a people who are not doing the right thing and also continue to pamper them. You understand? Now, the way to go, if you're serious about this issue, is that the military itself needs to look inward first and foremost. You understand? Try to see how you can actually put a tab on your own people. We had of an incident where a new guy, a military, I don't know his rank, was posted to Zamfara, and then he changed tactics. Instead of going out on patrol at 10 o'clock, he called them at about 8 o'clock, unaware, we just want to have a pep talk. And then he asked everyone to submit their phones. And then later on, they started getting strange phone calls from some of these bandits trying to know, what time are you guys coming? You understand? So these are some of the things you can actually do.
So some of them have been compromised.
Oh, of course they will compromise.
So how can we fish them out? If not for that guy with that tactics, nobody will ever know.
So that are some of the things you can keep doing part-time. By the time everybody knows that even when he's peeing, somebody is watching him, everybody will sit up. You understand? Because you don't want to have anything to do with blood money in the long run, because you know what's the consequences. The very moment the money hits your account, or the very moment it touches your hand, you're going down. You're not going to live to spend a dime from it. Everybody is going to know that we're out for serious business, because of what use is me trying to take money that I'm not going to live to spend, or my family is not going to enjoy it in the long run. So everybody is going to sit up. So the onus fall on the leadership of the security outfits or the government.
When you look at the fact that these guys, yes, it may be in the forest, there are other people in the forest that are doing legitimate business there, either fishing or farming or cattle rearing. And how do you begin to distinguish the good ones from the bad ones?
It's very simple. You infiltrate them. These people are always recruiting new members. I do not see any reason why you sit down in your offices inside ACs and you cannot think of how you can actually infiltrate them even up to their ranks and files. You understand? It's very easy. Just get your people all around those villages and let them begin to live as villagers.
They will be known.
No.
that these guys are their faces are not familiar.
Majority of the mercenaries they are using are actually even from Nigeria. All these are networks that you need to monitor and follow up on how recruitment is being done. You have to get to the roots of recruitment. Who and who is saddled with the responsibility of recruitment? Who and who is actually going out there to neighboring countries to go and recruit people for them? So all this needs to be profiled properly and put a tab on them to know who and who to go for or where to actually go to infiltrate. You need to really get a strategy in place to say, well, we also have intelligence. A report that says that they are recruiting from Chad, they are recruiting from Niger, they are recruiting from Mali. How do we infiltrate these places such that our people can also be recruited? You understand? And if you look at majorly, let me take Zamfara, for instance. Most of these warlords are actually or the people who became warlords today. Came out from outside the shores of this country, because some of them were recruited to come and fight, and then over time they also splintered and say, oh, we can have a faction. I mean, we can go our way since these people are ripping us off. You understand? So they begin to take up territories themselves. You understand? So it's very, very easy to infiltrate these people. Or sometimes all you need to do is actually to begin to look for intelligent way of recruiting the locals and take them out and give them the necessary training they need. You understand? Such that every conversation going on, you're hearing it from your offices because they're already bugged. Every planning going on, you don't even need those locals to give you a feedback. They don't even need a phone to give you a feedback. They must have been bugged in such a way that every interaction is being listened to in your offices, such that nobody is suspecting them. They don't need to hold phones. They just see them as mere locals who don't even have a phone. So they are not even communicating with anyone, because if they are communicating, they should be seen with phones anywhere. You understand? So there are so many ways to actually infiltrate them. You can do that if you're serious about it. The only fear is that, just like I said, some people, this is a business adventure for them. They are cashing in on this, and they don't want it to end. But other than that, there are so many ways. So it's not in all cases. Okay, we had in some cases where Turji has some villages. Not that he brought his own people in some of these villages. Not that he brought his own people to be the district head of those places, but he made it in such a way that the district head are loyal to him. You understand?
And then giving him returns.
And then giving him returns. As a matter of the fact, there was a time he celebrated Maulud, and some mosque in some places that did not comply or did not attend his own Maulud, he shot. But that the imams of those places did not attend his Maulud, he closed down those mosques. You understand? And this is happening right within the territory of Nigeria. Not even at the border of Nigeria. Right inside Nigeria, this is going on. And the over-bloated or over-hyped Nigerian military is not doing anything about it. If you say they're doing something, I don't even, you see, these Tucano that are going to be in operation now while we're having this terrorism act coming into play.
But deployment of Tucano is also an issue, so that you don't go and have human rights
I am even saying
violation.
You don't even need the Tucanos in the first place. We're talking about a single state. We're talking about 2 states. We're talking about 3 states. You understand? You don't even need those Tucanos in the first place. It's because you seems to be helpless. That's why people are now supporting the Tucano issue. You understand? And that's why even the American government gave them conditions why these Tucanos cannot be used in some certain under some certain conditions. You understand? Because we felt there would be, or they felt there will be some human rights violations. But it hasn't even gotten to that. There are ways you can do this effectively without even deploying any Tucano anywhere. What is the number of these people? If we have serious-minded individuals minding our security, or who are saddled with the responsibility of intelligence gathering and intelligence reports, we should even have part-time have the number of their own troops. How many new recruits do they have per month? All this can be known. You understand? Because there is no way you can plan to fight the people you don't even know their number.
That is a difficult task. If you know how they recruit, you know the number they are, it means you already know them. And you can.
And that is why you cannot
neutralize them.
You cannot defeat them without having these statistics. How do you neutralize the people?
Yeah, but it's difficult to get the statistics.
Hold on. Where in this your building, for instance, police is coming to make an arrest. Unfortunately, they don't know that we are up to 100 in this. Then you are sending 6 police officers to come and arrest the people in this building. What sense is that making? How will 6 police officers arrest 100 people who are actually resisting arrest? It doesn't make any sense. So you need to find a way to know how many people do we have in there, how many people or how do we go about arresting these people. So if you don't have these statistics, then you're fighting a war you have already you lost before you embark on it. That is just the reality. That's the truth. We can deploy whatever thing we need to deploy. You know, technology has really gone so advanced that there are so many ways we can look. Instead of crying to go and buy Tucano and all of this, you can actually cry to these nations to help you with their own intelligence. You can run to Pentagon and ask them that you really want to put a tab on these people. How do you go about it?
Maybe they'll say drones.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, but most time the drones are even shot down.
Besides drones, you can look at local intelligence to get all these facts. Most of these people even interact with the locals. They go about with their guns to buy food, to buy whatever, to have so many interactions with the locals. You can infiltrate their ransom files. That's the truth about it. So there is no way you can fight a war that you don't know the strength of the enemy you're fighting. You cannot win that war.
All right, viewers, if you're just joining us, the program is This Morning on ITV, and we're looking at insecurity and, of course, the gazetting of bandits as terrorists by the federal government. You know, that discussion has been on, and many people say, why would you proscribe a certain group and it is not officially gazetted? It means that you have not really done anything. But we have seen that came out last week, and that's what we are discussing with the Director of Strategy and Programs Coalition for Northern Groups, Comrade Samaila Musa. Let's get your final words on this.
Okay, I think going forward is for the federal government to actually change tactics. It's for the security operatives to change tactics. iPod was also, proscribed some times back. That has not led to any reduction in the activities of iPod. I mean, the only time you even can see that, this has come to some barest minimum is maybe after the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. And that's why we also advocate that, look, unless you arrest the leadership
of the Mbindiga,
and the Enter Adda, nothing is going to change. Their own strategy is not changing. They keep recruiting. They don't even know the difference between declaring them as terrorists and when you did not declare them. As far as they are concerned, they are out for business, and business they are doing. You understand? So really, just prescribing it alone, or gazetting them as terrorists alone does not solve the problem. You have to back that up with the necessary thing, change tactics, and let's see way forward, because this killing is getting too much. The senseless killing is just skyrocketing by the day. Even with all the telecoms shut down sometimes back, you can still see. Just in recent days, you hear 200 wiped out in a particular village. I'm talking about the locals now. These terrorists are going there to just kill people, indiscriminately, and that is actually very, very sad. So
how do you begin to treat people that are friends of these guys? How do you begin to treat people that know these Entada and Mbindiga, those that usually go
I've preferred a solution to that issue is to say
they tell you they are not in the business. Their path cross, and they seems to just know them, but they are not their members.
You can interrogate quite a lot of people who, because it depends on how do you come about meeting those ones who have interactions with them. On what basis are you inviting them over? Or on what basis are you trying to arrest them? You understand? If I'm a villager, for instance, and they invaded my house, and you heard a story that my house was invaded, it is very, very unkind of you to begin to invite me over to want to prosecute me. If you are not trying to get one or two, information from me, what do they look like? What did they tell you when they came over? But so it will be very unkind if what you're trying to do is to arrest me because my house was invaded. You understand? I mean, it was harassed. In some cases, they even rape people's wives. In some cases, they take their wives and go away with them. So you cannot arrest those kind of people or try to prosecute those kind of people who are victims. There are people who have been caught in the act of taking fuels to them. You should not be dialoguing with this kind of people who are taking fuels to them. What you need to do first and foremost is to actually follow them up after the arrest.
Yeah, but what if they call it business?
What business?
Because they're not the only people
Wipe them out.
with them.
Wipe them out. There must be scapegoats.
Yeah, they
people
still
will have to know.
Still go to the market. They buy food items. How do you treat the market man or woman that sell to them?
The market man or woman does not know where they live. They are not supplying them. They are coming to the market. So it's left for the government to actually arrest those ones coming to the market. Not, I mean, if I'm selling in the market, how do I know what you do? You understand? I don't have any form that I give you to film to say your occupation, this, that. And even if I have something like that, you can lie about what you do. You understand? So it is the duty of the government to do that. It's not for those selling. You understand? But what we are saying is that you can actually man all those bushes to know when people are leaving those markets, where are these food items heading to? Within those villages, where are these food items heading to? You understand? They still recruit the locals. You also go ahead and start recruiting the locals. That's the way to get results.
Thank you so much for your time with us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's the side of this discussion with Comrade Samaila Musa, of course, looking at insecurity and how far the gazetting of the prosecution of bandit as terrorists will go in the fight against banditry or now terrorism in Nigeria. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
We'll then take a quick break. When we come back, the program continues.